this video I'm gonna be making a xylophone simulation in JavaScript. I actually didn't know that this music instrument was called xylophone. If you don't know what it's called, it's basically this thing. I mean, there are more sophisticated kind of versions, but we're gonna be making this one. So it's gonna be made in JavaScript using 3D graphics. I actually use threejs, which you can download here. Basically threejs.org documentation, here it is. And I actually have created already kind of all the necessary files are already in the project. So in index.html is where our program is gonna be, and in JavaScript JS folder I put threejs, and I included like that simply script and source relative path JS, threejs. And also we're gonna be using our mouse to interact with 3D objects, and for that I'm using a utility class that I wrote, and I will put it in this JS folder and also just included it right after threejs. And you can download it by going to the GitHub repository, which there's gonna be a link in the description, and here you can see how to use it. There are these are the supported mouse events. Actually, initially there were only 3. I've just recently added a bunch of new ones, and we're gonna utilize them. And so in order to download it, you basically open this file, raw, and save as. Yeah, so here's what I'm starting with. It's basically just standard kind of threejs boilerplate. Initialize scene, initialize camera, perspective camera, full field of view, aspect ratio based on client's window, near and far clipping planes. I set position to this. I just played around with values. I kind of rotate camera so it kind of looks a bit down. So this is in radians, kind of somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees. And yeah, we initialize renderer with anti-aliasing on, so it looks kind of smooth, nice. Then spotlight, basic white spotlight. I also played around with position, didn't change much. Added to the scene. Then define pink color, and basically create kind of geometry. Is gonna be box geometry, parallel piped. The xylophone is made out of these bars. And material set to pink color and Lambert material, so it's gonna kind of work with the spotlight. And we initialize mesh, set name to bar, and this utility class actually works with the name of the meshes, and all our meshes are gonna have the same name, bar, and basic render loop, kind of standard for threejs. And yeah, here's what so you cannot interact with it, nothing. So let's first add interaction, kind of. This is how you initialize this utility class. You pass scene and camera, and let's add an event handler. So for meshes with the name bar, and for event click mouse event, I'm gonna execute this function, which actually has as a parameter mesh, so we have an access to the mesh object. And also here I have nodes directory, and here are the octave or whatever it's called, kind of these eight notes. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. And let's test also audio. Create a new audio object and nodes, node 1 and audio.play. Okay, so now here I click, nothing happens. I click on the mesh and nothing happens as well. Why? Oh yes, of course, because I forgot to. You have to call an update method in the render loop so that it updates. Yeah, now you see I click on the mesh, the sound is playing. Great. Now let's actually create all the other bars. Each mesh is gonna have its own material because we're gonna change colors. And so the gap between bars, we're gonna calculate that based on the window. On the client's window. Let's do this. X is gonna be I think this will give a nice result. Maybe 3.5. Oh, the gap is perhaps too big. Okay, so we're gonna for now we're gonna leave it like that. I'll probably make it look nicer later, and this should play. Let's make them kind of highlight once we hover over the 3D object. Let's make it become kind of highlighted. I'm gonna use and let's add an event handler for that. Okay, let's just get so mouse enter. So when mouse enters kind of the object, so the mouse cursor is over the object, it's gonna paint it. So we're gonna use the mesh object mesh mesh.material equals yellow color, pink color. Oh yeah. Oh. What is going on? Okay. Oh, it just material.color. Okay, so yeah, maybe yeah, it's fine for now, but right now, as we haven't added mouse leave event yet, it's gonna paint them all. Yeah. So let's add mouse leave event. So when mouse cursor leaves 3D object leave, and set it back to pink. Okay, so it now works. Yeah, good. So now it kind of is highlighted. Great. Now let's actually make them, those different bars, play different notes. I don't remember JS map. JS map. Okay. New map. Mesh. Node equals new map, and so set and get. Okay, so mesh dot set. Oh, so here you're gonna be mesh node dot set. Let's just log this and see if what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, it seems right. Let's also see the correspondence. Map. So this should be 14, 15, 20, and 20. Yeah. Okay. Now let's mesh node dot get mesh dot id. So kind of like Yeah, works. Nice. Okay. So first off, let's make this even smaller, like that maybe. And perhaps I should also make their sizes different as well. Let's try this. Okay. Also, let's make it a bit more responsive. I think mouse down will do us good. Yeah, it became much more responsive. Just because click is waiting when we click and then let go of the mouse, but mouse down fires as we click, so it doesn't wait for mouse up. So maybe like 20 like that. Oh yeah, now this looks much better. So, and I don't know, let's maybe try to do like make them jump up a bit. Maybe something like that. I don't know if that will work. Oh. Okay. Okay, now it just flows. Another good thing would probably be to add the delta time, right? Because right now I think it's like 60 frames per second and 0.5, like it's good, right? But what if more frames per second are gonna execute? It's gonna be faster, it's gonna move faster, and if FPS is actually lower than 60, then it's gonna be slower. So I don't know, like it's pretty simple project, maybe I'm not gonna do that. Also, like we would have to let's try this. And I think yeah, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, now we don't get any errors, and check the delta, it should be around 6. Oh, we probably should get delta, since it kind of counts delta when we get it. Let's do this like that. Yeah, so now it's proper values, and so I'm gonna use that to make our kind of this motion independent of the actual frame rate. Let data yeah. So now it's extremely slow because now we use delta, which is quite small, 0.016 seconds, so let's make it a little bit faster. But the good thing about using delta is that the speed is gonna be the same independent of frame rate. So if frame rate lower or higher, the speed with which they kind of jump up is gonna be the same, so it's independent of frame rate. It also kind of okay. Let's set this active mesh dot session. So if active mesh doesn't equals undefined, let's set it position to 0. And maybe let's just make it faster. That's gonna solve no problem. Yeah, I really just wanted to show kind of the new functionality that I've added into the MMI mouse mesh interaction utility class. Thanks for watching, and this code is gonna be on GitHub in the same GitHub repository as the utility class, under folder probably named Xylophone or something like that. And I've also recently been working on a game engine, a C++ game engine using modern OpenGL, and I've been working for the last couple of days on it, setting up the system, kind of layer system, event systems, system, and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm planning to make a devlog kind of, and yeah, thank you, bye bye.